Hi guys, Looca here. In this video, I'm going to be teaching you about the habits that are secretly keeping you low elo. First, we got champ hopping. Champ hopping is what people do when they can't decide which champ to main. They will play 5 different champions in 1 week and they're wondering why they're stuck. The reason why it's bad is if you cannot put the finite energy you have into thinking about things like jungle tracking and level up timers and macro, you cannot really improve or progress your gameplay. If you are constantly thinking about piloting your champion and like, oh, what do I do? What do I build? Where's my all-ins? What are my cooldowns? You're just taking away from the energy that you're putting into the actual game itself, and that is holding you back. This is going into B tier. Next up, we got false narratives. A false narrative is what someone builds when they, let's say, lose 2 games in a row against a Darius and now think that he's the most broken champ in the game. And the next time they face a Darius, they just mental boom. They respect way too much. They don't trade and just think that they can never touch this champion and go down 70 CS. The problem with this is, well, it's obvious, right? You're just gonna like play irrationally against X and Y champion. The reality of it is that champion beat you for a specific reason. Every champ has a weakness and a strength, and you need to improve by reviewing, watching YouTube videos or such things. So this is going into B tier as well. Next up, we got bad fundamentals. Bad fundamentals basically just means that you're a bad player. However, there are, people in Masters that I've coached that are good mechanically, but they have bad fundamentals. This is going straight into S tier. Not knowing your fundamentals and just being bad means that if you play any other champ than your one trick, you're just going to be cooked. Next up, we got not reviewing. There are so many players that just don't review their games and just stay stuck in low elo because they're not learning from their mistakes. They're just saying, oh, bad team, unlucky game. Oh, I didn't feel well this game, yada, yada, yada. You will get so much out of reviewing because you see patterns, you see bad habits that you have. Reviewing is such a crucial part of improving. I suggest you get like a recording software like Ascent or Outplayed. Put it on, 30 FPS, 720p. Don't make it too difficult for your computer to handle. And every single game in queue after the game ends, just sit there and watch, even if it's just like your first 3 deaths or, oh, I died to a gank. How could I have seen that coming better? Where should I have warded, etc.? You need to enable that pattern recognition and problem solving part in your brain to improve your gameplay. So not reviewing, go straight into A tier. Next, we got locked camera. I see a lot of students and players in general play with locked camera. There are some Grandmaster Challenger players, maybe 1 or 2, that actually don't have a unlocked camera. But the rest, I mean, guys, you're just playing with a blindfold on. You're limiting yourself so hard. Anytime there's a team fight, like a little bit away from your screen, there's something happening. You don't know if they used ult or not. You don't know if while moving to mid lane, you cannot really gauge how the fight's going. It's just like, you're just limiting yourself. Imagine a human being without peripheral vision. That's just what it feels like to play with locked camera. You're just nerfing yourself extremely hard. This is going into B tier. Next up, playing for kills. The problem with playing for kills is that it's inconsistent, but it works sometimes. So it's hard to spot whether you're doing it or not, and it's hard to create a good habit where you don't do it. That's why reviewing is also so important, right? So sometimes, you play for kills and it ends up going well because you're fed, or, mechanically you just played so well, it doesn't matter. Half of the time though, you're just like chasing people, you're not pushing your waves out, you're not creating actual turns, and enemies get a 60% play, which should have been a 20% play for them. So playing for kills is just a really bad habit, and most people know that they're doing it. They're just too lazy, too undisciplined in game to actually make the appropriate call. This is going into C tier because most people are aware that they're doing it, and if they're not, if someone tells them they're doing it, they'll instantly know. Next up, we got poor last hitting. This is only really a habit that people have when they just play a new champion or like really low elo people like bronze and iron. And usually that's just because they, they're new to the game. They haven't really figured out the timing yet. They don't know that you're supposed to last hit on like the caster creeps' autos that you can literally physically see entering the enemy minions. So this is going into D tier. Definitely though, if you're missing like 30 CS in laning phase that you shouldn't have missed because you're just bad at last hitting, that can be a big problem. Also, in the first 3 waves, let's say you do like a cheater recall, you can actually mess up your buy. Let's say you miss like a couple minions or a cannon minion. You can now, instead of getting a longsword, you're forced to buy like a fillable potion, which can change the outcome of the game quite drastically. So poor last hitting, I mean, guys, just go into practice tool, go there for 10 minutes and practice your last hitting, please. Okay, next up we have reacting to plays. What I mean with reacting to plays is basically when you see something happening on your screen, you're just right-clicking there, even though it's super far away, or you haven't pushed your wave on side lane yet, and a fight's happening in river, and you're just clicking there. The best plays in League are 90% of the time plays that you set up. You need to push a wave out and then make a move. If you can constantly make only plays on your own timers, even if those plays go wrong, the enemies don't really have a play to make after the play ends. Because let's say you shove out a wave on side and then you die, they have to catch the wave and then shove the next wave and then the next wave before they can hit your turret. So essentially you're cheating the game by creating a turn that is so good that even if the play goes wrong, it's like still in your favor. So even 50-50s become good for you. Just walking around and reacting, oh, play here, let's take it. Oh, piece of candy, piece of candy. It's just not a consistent way to play League. So this is going in A tier as well. Blaming teammates. I think we're all guilty of this one, and I'm not gonna lie, I probably did it like 2 days ago. I think you probably did it yesterday, let's be real. Everyone does this, even at the highest level, and it's just because we're emotional creatures, we're very competitive, and we don't like taking accountability, right? And I think that this is something that is like an everlasting process, you know, you don't just get rid of blaming teammates forever. You will always be blaming your teammates, as long as when you come down to earth, when you stop being emotional, you do take some accountability and you actually look at your plays and like ask yourself what you could have done better, right? Because at the end of the day, your teammates, they will be with you one game and then you'll never see them again unless you're playing in like really high elo, right? And so you're honestly like, it's so useless to blame your team. You're the only person who's in every single one of your games, right? So a good way to approach this is just to, you know, if you're emotional, you just blame your team, that's fine. But you know, when you come down after the game, please just understand that if you were a better player, you would have carried that game 99% of the time. There are very few games where you actually cannot have carried, like 1% of your games, unless you're in Challenger, right? Where people are just that good that they're not allowing you to make any plays. But even in Challenger, man, like people will make mistakes. So, you know, blaming your teammates, this is going into S tier. Don't avoid accountability, guys. Please stay level-headed. Understand that anyone with a higher rank than you would have probably carried that game. So you must be doing something wrong. So S tier. Not muting chat. This one is very interesting for me. I personally believe that let's say we take 100 games, maximum 5 of those games will having chat on be actually beneficial for you. The other 95 games are going to be people flaming you, people flaming each other, people asking to FF, people just being overall toxic and ruining your focus by distracting you. You see someone say FF15 and then instantly your mindset shifts from, oh, I can just play it slow and carry on my 3-item spike to, oh, my team's tilted, I need to help them. You know, that's a subconscious trigger that can happen in your brain. So this one is definitely important that you mute chat. Now, in my personal opinion, the best way to go about this is I'm in favor of still being able to communicate to my team, but you need to not see their messages. So the best way to do this is just to keep chat on, but you do /mute chat all. So in your settings, you have, you know, the chat on, but in game, you just mute everyone and you can still type to them. They can still see your messages. Even if the people are tilted, if you're in a win condition and you're actively typing stuff to win games, your team will, even if they're tilted, naturally kind of gravitate to following your calls because you have authority, right? And they respect you because you're doing well. So in my opinion, you should just mute chat, but not be full muted, be able to type yourself. This is going into, I think B tier is appropriate for this one. Next up, we got third-party apps. Guys, sometimes I coach someone and they have like Professor widgets on their screen. You know the one where you can see like your current CS average and they compare it to the average player in your elo and you see like either a green arrow if you're doing well or a red arrow if you're under that CS average. Bro, I've seen people literally make mistakes because of this alone. Like, oh, I'm in the red, I need to go side more. And then they should have grouped and they make a bad play because of this third-party app. And when is this ever beneficial? What kind of advantage do you get from this? Nothing. Like, you might give me the argument that, oh, I can track if I'm doing well or not. You should be able to do that without this. I can do that without this. I can press tab and see how many items I have compared to the rest of the players in the game, or my levels or my CS. So this is just kind of useless. Also, another thing with this app, a lot of people in loading screen, where, by the way, that's valuable time to think about stuff. You can think about how to team fight, what item spikes I need, what items I want to build, if we outscale them or not, if we want to do early dragons or etc. All that time you can spend on thinking about these things, you're spending it on analyzing the enemy. Oh, are they a hippie? Are they a high cortisol player? Or are they a win streak enjoyer? You know what I mean? You're like analyzing some useless stuff. You can even get kind of anxious from seeing your opponent's win rates if they're like having a high win rate, or you know their previous rank was higher than yours. You can kind of respect them more than you should. You know, oh, they're a one trick, they must know this matchup better than me, I'm just gonna give prio. Why? You shouldn't base your gameplay off of information that you otherwise wouldn't be able to have. That's not even that useful. It's kind of counterproductive. So I think this one is going into B tier as well. Okay, limit testing. Now, a lot of people on their main account, they'll just get caught on side lane, die, and then say, oh, I'm limit testing. The only problem I have with this is that people are subconsciously or consciously dodging accountability by blaming it on, oh, I'm just limit testing, rather than acknowledging that it's an actual mistake. That can be detrimental in the long term, right? Because you can just keep getting caught, and just keep saying it's I'm limit testing. I think limit testing should be done just purely on your Smurf account. Your main should be purely for tryhard, full intensity games. CJ is pretty accurate for this one. Listening to friends. Oh my days, this is so insane. I've had students who are of gold elo come to me with the most outrageous takes, like the most outrageous opinions. And I asked them, where did you learn this? Who taught you this? And they say, yeah, one of my friends. I'm like, what is that person's elo? Yeah, they're platinum. Oh my days, bro. Please be careful with the information that you're just taking from people around you. Like, please get a second opinion. Please don't create, and this goes hand in hand with false narratives. Please do research, look at the statistics, look at what items are good or not. Don't just build this item because your friend told you, or don't just like skip sideways because your friend told you not to sidelane on this champion. Stuff like this it can create such bad habits, and it's actually funny because I've seen the most outrageous things. So definitely listening to friends. It's going into A tier. A tier or B tier? Actually hard. I think I'll say A tier. I'll say A tier because I've seen people just have the most crazy habits from this. Okay, bad itemization. It depends on the champ you play, because some champions have a very easy item path, like Camille, Triforce into Ravenous Heart, and then you have the option of going either Starex, Shojin, or GA or whatever, right? And it's very easy. Champ like aatrox, bro, like you have 25 different items that are good in 30 billion different games. What do? On aatrox, very hard. It's like 50% of aatrox's skill ceiling is his itemization. I think a lot of tank champions itemizing can be hard. There is always a objectively correct item build when it comes to like the amount of damage you're able to tank. So this is going into A tier. Bad map openings. Last one. I think it's every single elo has this problem, but in some elos you get punished for it harder than others. I think the higher elo you are, the more you get punished for bad map openings. Basically, what this means is when you contract yourself to a lane that you're not supposed to be in. For example, if you are, in this case, Sion, and let's say your wave just crashed into the enemy tier 2 turret, and there's a Herald fight, let's say, right? Or a Nash fight of some sorts. Opening straight through bot is just a bad idea. Basically, the way League works is you get a turn by pushing a wave out on side so that you can be mid or group around objectives, unless you're a split pusher. Even if you're a split pusher in this case, you still need to have a good map opening, and that would be to go through mid or go through jungle. And what happens is, by going through jungle, you expose yourself to multiple options, right? You can either go from jungle to mid, or if nothing happens on mid, you can still go from jungle to bot lane, push the wave out again, and then you can reevaluate, do I keep going bot or do I move to mid again? Because mid game is all about mid waves. And so I think this can be, especially like in Emerald and Plus students, I've seen this be a big problem in people I've coached that are under Emerald. It's not really that important, but still it can make a difference to your gameplay. So yeah, I think that if you have bad map openings, especially in Emerald Plus, this can be game losing in like at 1/10, maybe 1/8 of your games. So practice good map openings, watch YouTube videos on it, get coaching. Using proximity to your advantage can be very, very good to involve yourself in more fights and not let your team just die. So this is going into B tier. All right, there you have it, guys. That is the habits secretly keeping you low elo tier list. Maybe I missed one or two, maybe even more. Let me know in the comments which one I missed, and maybe I can, respond and which I would put them in. If you like videos like this, please leave a like and subscribe. I'm trying to grow my channel, as you guys know. Peace out.